Today's High Performance Podcast is brought to you by Josh Phegan Digital. It's the only place to track and keep yourself accountable by looking at all of the essential numbers, from buyer appointments, market appraisals and listing appointments, to listings, sales and income, and working in 45-minute sessions. You'll find it all on Josh Phegan Digital. Welcome to High Performance, the podcast featuring Josh Phegan and Alexander Phillips. Alexander, there's a big conversation about raising to new heights, and we're seeing some pretty phenomenal numbers that are floating through your business in terms of the number of transactions that you do, the number of open for inspections that you've got sitting inside of your business, what you're doing in terms of market share and market penetration. For any real estate agent, I guess that one of the hardest things is that they've got to break some internal mental barriers where they have a barrier to say that, look, I just don't think I can do more than 5 or 6 open for inspections on a weekend. You've built a set of systems where you've got people inside of your team now that you can pace at 10, 20, even 30 open for inspections on a Saturday. But it means that you can't be promising that you're going to be at every single one of those open for inspections. So, in terms of raising to new heights, what are some of the barriers that you've had to break through in your career that you go, that was just a poor set of thinking, or maybe there was a structure or a system that wasn't in play that now you've got in play that's allowed you to raise to a completely new height of performance?
Thanks, Josh. Yeah, I speak to, particularly with a lot of agents that even we compete against, and now like starting to run at, going from 5 listings to 10 listings, 10 listings to 12, and how flustered they get and how they actually can't handle that work pace. But, something that I learned really early on is letting go of everything, as in letting go of all the non-dollar productive work, letting go of everything that sort of can bog you down in the way of, being a top performing agent. There's only really a few things I do every day, which is listing appointments, vendor meetings, buyer appointments, and negotiations and open homes. That's it. I don't do anything else. So all of that is outsourced to everyone else within my team. That makes us, like, we could actually run 40 open houses on a weekend, and we're so well planned out that. And there's also nothing ever missed in those 20 or 30 open homes, because I call every single person after every open home. We've got a run sheet, so I cross off each person that I've called. So at the end of the day, I look at it and go, yep, everything's done, great. Go on to the next day. So I think it's about really understanding. Firstly, you've got to have the best people around you to be able to do that. Best team that you can actually trust, that that you can actually outsource that to. So it's about, I think when you let go of that as well, you flourish a lot more, because all you're worried about is basically those 5 components that I mentioned to ensure that you're actually continually growing and going to new heights.
If you go back to Alexander Phillips 15 years ago and he said to you, oh mate, it's possible to do 10, 15, 20, 30 open for inspections on a Saturday, what would you have said back then? Like, would you have said that that's possible, or you would have said no way?
Probably no way, because you didn't have the right systems in place. You didn't have the right know how to go through. It's about going through new barriers and then going through the next barrier, and then continually pushing it and working out what you did to go through that previous barrier to then go, keep looking forward. And that's what we're always about, is like looking forward and trying to find out new ways that you can actually do more in less time.
I think the big conversation here is the ability to be able to move a buyer from one property to the next. So when a property sells, mate, there's 4 underbidders, or there's 5 other people that have come back on that one for a second inspection. Let's now take them to this next one in Smith Street. And keeping your days on market really short, because it's a better quality owner experience. And if you've been able to extract the best market price because you've got a really urgent buyer, then that's the right thing to do by the seller. And one of the things that I've identified is that, when you're in a position that you get a listing, the first activities that you're looking at is that who are the most urgent buyers this week? Who are the people right now that we know would naturally have to sell theirs to go and buy this? What are we doing with previous market appraisals should know about this listing? Who are the people on the seller hit list that we should go and chase? So you're already prospecting for that new listing before you've even launched the current one. And that's the big difference. I think a lot of agents they're going through the stages of a campaign. Okay, great. Yeah, no, photos go up, and it's going to, and you're very much like tactically, consciously thinking through every individual stage of the campaign. But you're saying, look, I already know those components of the campaign are going to be done because I've got someone like Prue in my team who's going to go and do that. I already know that buyer matching has been done because Vince has gone in and done that inside of my team. Or, hey, Vince, don't forget about the people that we saw on Red Street. Oh, no, I've already got them. Alex spoke to them already, had an inspection there yesterday. Just very finely refined. And I think that, like the age-old story, a lot of the beliefs that you've got today have got you to the level of income, but that level of thinking is not going to take you to new heights. So you've got to start to think about a new level of thinking about saying, how would I go to 5 or 10 or 15. And I kind of love that idea that if you wanted to double your business, you'd tweak your way to success. So if you're $1 million writer, how do I get to 2 million? Okay, great. But if I times that by 10 and I say, okay, great, you want to go from $1 million to 10 million, you have to rethink the whole thing. Different market areas, different people inside of your team, different structures. And that's the most important thing. 10 times thinking is a lot easier to get you to reimagine the systems that sit inside of your business.